Hi everyone, welcome again to the Future of Nursing podcast. My name is Daniela Regina Narolo. I'm a registered nurse and a volunteer with the Focusing for Young Nurses initiative, where we hold webinars, capacity building seminars to help young nurses to become the best version of themselves. And on this podcast, today is another edition, and I'm going to be interviewing one of my good friends, colleagues in school, very amazing young lady who is flying high in the profession of nursing. Already you can see some of the portfolio shown on the screen. I'm just going to allow her to introduce herself. Hi Rafiat, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me.
Hello Damilare, thank you so much for having me. I am so happy to be here, and one of the things I really like doing is speaking about my journey to other young nurses. My name is Rafiat Akionkun. I am a registered nurse midwife, also a public health nurse. I'm currently doing my master's in public health at the University of Sheffield on an Erasmus Mundus Excellence Scholarship. And I'm also an immunization advocate for National Challenge and the Sabin Vaccine Institute. So let me just stop there.
Amazing. So I love your portfolio. It's so robust. Even at a very young age and at the early part of your career, you have been able to build so much capacity, which is very interesting. And I must say kudos to you. It's so interesting again because I think I knew you. I did not just think that, I know you from first year nursing school to final year, and I have seen your commitment, I've seen your enthusiasm and your passion for this profession. So let's start from that. How did you even come into the profession? What motivated your choice of nursing? And would you just want to talk us through your choice? Were you one of those who came into nursing because your parents decided that you should do nursing because it's a lucrative profession? I don't know if it's that for you. Just tell us about that.
Okay, so thank you. My journey towards nursing started during my secondary education. I attended a federal government college, Ikirun. And because it's a boarding school, we had a school clinic headed by a school nurse. And when I was in school, because of my genotype, I usually get malaria a lot because, it's a tropical area. There's so much mosquito and all of that. So I get sick a lot. I'm usually moving from classes to the school clinic, and it's a whole lot on me. But there was this particular nurse that took care of me. I mean, anytime I remember this nurse, I'm always like, God bless this woman wherever she is, because I don't know if you've ever been in a situation in life whereby you are helpless, you are in a low side of you, and you have someone stay with you, someone encourage you and all of that. It takes a whole lot and it creates a lasting impression. So because of that, I decided that I'm going to enter into the medical field, although I wasn't sure if I should go for nursing or medicine or all of that, but I knew I was going into the medical field. So I took my JAMB and I applied to LAUTECH and I got admission into nursing. And since then, I've been following through the path. Also, let me not lie to you though, because I'm not going to lie. When we were doing our JAMB and everything, I saw the medical field as something that I know that, okay, if I finish, at least I'll try to get something.
I was actually coming there because I thought you were going to speak about passion and passion alone.
My friends are like, it is even better you go to a medical field, because if you go to the medical field, at least you'll be able to do something for yourself and all of that. Because people in the medical field, they don't really go through all those challenges of searching for work and all of that. Although now that I've grown, I've seen, my eyes are more open. I've seen more realities and all of that. But that used to be my perception back then. So I think that also influenced my decision to pursue nursing. Yeah.
Makes sense. I love the fact that it's a mix of passion and I don't know what to call the other part, but another motivation too. I understand that you have passion for caring for people, but there's also a motivation, an extrinsic motivation, which is actually remuneration from us. And it's quite understandable because we come from a part of the world where you just have to have something to be able to fuel your passion. And that's what nursing has given to us. And thanks to nursing profession for that. Well, I don't want us to dwell so much on that because there are so many more stuff that we need to get into. So let's move on. Your first year in school and your second year, your third year in school. Did you ever see yourself coming to this point, like winning a scholarship and becoming a scholar, nursing our challenge of WHO stuff? I mean, these are big stuff. Eh? Did you ever see yourself getting to this stage?
Okay, so back then in school, I have always known that I've always had the mind of doing something extraordinary. I've never had, at any point in my life, I have never been someone that settles for anything less.
Yeah, I know that. You are one of our best students, so.
Please. So, but then I never, ever thought of pursuing this path. In fact, in school, I didn't even know that I'll be going into public health because my decision to enter fully into public health was during my 500 level, my final year in school. I never saw myself like this in this particular position, especially this early, because I remember back then in 500 level, I saw Prince Phil Agbedo. I don't know if I pronounce his name well. He was going for a particular nursing conference, and I was like, I saw Nursing Now talking about him. I saw him featured on Nursing Now website, and I was like, hey, look at this guy has gone, this guy has grown. Imagine him being on
like an impossible task.
I was like, imagine being on Nursing Now websites, everything. I was like, oh man, these things are. But then at that particular time, I knew it was achievable. I just didn't know that I would actually get all of these things quite like at this, should I say, early stage. Yes. And then seriously, if you'd ask me, I never thought I would be here at this particular time. And in fact, before winning this scholarship, in 2020, when I finished school, I was reading my journal before resuming for my scholarship because I had to pack. It was more of like a relocation thing for me. I had to pack. So I was looking at my whole journals in school, and I saw a particular place whereby this was in 2020. I just finished school back then, and I saw that I want to apply. I feel like I can. I feel like I should go for my master's abroad, but I don't know how I'm going to like fund for it and all of that. And I don't think that I am capable of winning scholarships because people that win scholarships they are extraordinary people, and I don't even know if I'll be able to get in that space. When I saw that journal, I cried. Because it was at the time I was packing my bag to actually resume school after getting a scholarship, and it gave like it sent a message to me. One particular message that it sent was, the future is pregnant. Let me just say that the future is so bright. You can't decide where you'd be, right? But you can actively work towards achieving anything that you want to achieve. Once you work towards it, these things there's nothing impossible regarding the growth, regarding the dreams that you have for yourself. There's nothing impossible that you cannot achieve, really. So I think that's
amazing. This is already enough dose of inspiration, and I really, because some of us think it's winning scholarships is for some exclusively brilliant people. Even though you're a brilliant lady, I mean, we attended the same school, so I know you can't tell me you're not brilliant. At least I know your capacity. I know that you got that intellect. But generally, most of us have this feeling of inadequacy, which is speaking to somebody who's watching this and is thinking, maybe I'm not good enough, I'm not brilliant enough, or maybe I just attended the school of nursing in one community somewhere. I did not attend the university. I can't do this. I can't. I think that's one of the words to take out. Can't. It's not supposed to be in our conversations. All right. Yeah. Now let's even go further. You are a nurse. Did you at any point see yourself as a nurse? Because we know most of these kind of things are being achieved by doctors, maybe pharmacists, we see them flying high. But have you ever thought of you being a nurse? I mean, getting a scholarship, being featured on the global scene in this way. As a nurse, I mean, just help me talk through how you conceptualized it and how you pushed for it.
Thank you. So at every stage of my life, I have never ever claimed to be someone else. If you refer to me as another profession, I'll correct you. I'll tell you I'm a nurse. Because I fully understand where you are coming from. So this is going to be a long discussion. So I'm going to deep down into a whole lot of things that I've done and how people generally think that nurses should not do what I've done. This started right in my final year. I was learning data analysis. I was at the point of learning how to write, academic writing, learning about research, publication, and all of that. So I learned a little bit of data analysis back then. And I met one friend. The guy is actually in MLS. He's a medical lab scientist. Sorry. And I remember what he said. He was like, he asked me what I'm doing, and I said, "Oh, I'm attending the class. Like, I want to attend the class. It's about data analysis and all of that. I want to start." I told him all my plans and all of that. And he was like, do nurses carry out research? Shebi is just for you people to stay in the world and, take care of patients and all of that.
God.
I looked at him like,
are you whining me?
I asked him that, what do you want to do in the future? He said, he wants to work in a fortune company or in genomics or something. I said, shebi medical lab scientists too, shebi their own work is just take samples and give reports of those samples. So why do you want to go and do and work in genomics and all of that, or whatever he said? He said, well, what I'm just saying is that most of the nurses that I know, they just work on the ward and all. I said, that means you've seen another kind of nurse and you should actually accept it that way. That's my first encounter. During my service here, I worked with Chemonics International. Chemonics International is a multinational organization that deal with a whole lot of they deal in the aspect of global health. So they tend to solve a whole lot of global health issues, including contraception and family planning, including reduction of maternal mortality, HIV prevention and control, and all of that. So I worked in the aspect of HIV prevention and control. I worked as a research nurse with them. So a lot of times when I go to the clinic, because the people I work with in the clinics and all, they expect that they were expecting someone old, someone that has had a whole lot of someone old, I don't know, because for them it feels like somebody that would actually take up the role of a research nurse is a multinational organization has to be like somebody that has maybe 10-15 years of experience and all of that. So the first time I went there, they were like, one came to meet me like, are you sure are you a doctor? I said, no, I'm a nurse. Because the nurses that I've seen, they only work on the ward. I've never seen a nurse that will be taking up this kind of role, take up this kind of position, have a whole lot of knowledge about, research, qualitative, because the research type we were doing at that time was both qualitative and quasi-experimental. This was a quasi-experimental study. So it was like, I don't expect that a nurse. It was, are you sure you are a nurse? I said, the funny thing is, their boss then, she wanted to call me because their boss is a female in that particular clinic. So she wanted to tell me something, and then she said, doctor, I need quick. Well, I went to meet her. Mommy, okay, she's a doctor. She was like, someone nurse no man share by this. So let me just translate it. Do nurses actually take up this kind of role? And I was like, yes, nurses do. And at least you've seen that a nurse can actually work in this capacity. That aside. So when I got into the National Challenge, okay, before that, I won it was like an opportunity with Women Deliver. Women Deliver is a top organization that deals with empowering women and girls regarding their rights and all of that. So we were quite a lot. I think from over 5,600 applicants globally, they chose only 300. Although I had a lot of colleagues in Nigeria, but most of my colleagues were actually doctors. I was the only nurse in the room. And a lot of times I look at myself like, is it because nurses don't know that they can actually achieve so much in their profession? I mean, on the long run with the whole Women Deliver thing, I ended up winning a grant worth thousands of USD of dollars. I ended up doing a particular project, a statewide project in Lagos. I ended up being sponsored for their conference in Rwanda, full sponsorship with my baby and my mom-in-law. I ended up staying on a panel discussion through the platform. I was invited by UNICEF Canada and Result Canada. You all know UNICEF, so I don't need to start talking about it.
These are big platforms, man.
In the same panel discussion, I discussed together with the country head, the Rwandan country head of UNICEF. Imagine the UNICEF country head of a particular country staying on the same panel with that kind of person. And these are just opportunities that nursing can bring. These are limitless opportunities. Aside that, please remember that I'm also a nurse. There are my colleagues that are actually doctors. I didn't even get where they didn't actually achieve as much I have done through that platform. Then, aside that, I got the National Challenge. Although the National Challenge is focused on, improving the skills of nurses and all of that globally. So there was a particular conference, the WISH Summit, the World Innovation Summit for Health. That it's a biennial conference that held in Qatar. So I was also invited for a panel discussion. At the panel discussion, they actually left it out blank for a young career in a young professional, a young frontline healthcare professional. So that frontline healthcare professional could actually be a nurse, it could be a doctor, anybody that has worked on the frontline. And believe me, I actually ended up being chosen as that frontline healthcare worker. I mean, I am a nurse, so why would anybody choose a nurse to be when it could actually be any other person? And on this particular panel discussion, I sat with the ICN president, the ICN CEO. I sat with the WHO director for health workforce. I mean, I had a tea break with them. I discussed about the challenges of frontline healthcare worker within a closed space before the whole panel discussion thing. I had a chat with big people. I had chats with with the Minister for Health in Egypt. I had a chat with Anna Becky. She's now the WHO director for EMRO, like the EMRO region. And it's a whole lot. These are big people. And the one thing that I've really realized from all of these things is that the world awaits nurses. And the more we shy away from being a nurse, the more we relegate ourselves. There hasn't been a time where another person will refer to me as someone else that won't correct them that I'm a nurse. Even till now, I'm studying public health, but my profile, if you Google my name, if you search my name on Google, you would see that it is there. Rafiat Akionkun is a public health nurse. Whenever I see myself, first thing I tell people, in fact, I even had I had an interview last week for the International Student Ambassador at the University of Sheffield. I actually got in. I'm currently, I got the acceptance mail yesterday. So I'm currently an international student at the University of Sheffield. And, it's per department. So a whole lot of people in MPH, they usually had this background from medicine, from all other fields. How do we use nurses? So during my interview, and they were like, can you tell us a little bit about your background? The first thing I tell them is, I I have a background in nursing. I am a nurse. And the first thing they feel like, oh, really? You're a nurse. So what inspired you to actually come this? Because, we don't get to see a whole lot of nurses doing what you're doing. And I'm like, yes, that is true. That may be true. But at least now you are saying that nurses can take up any role they want to take up. I also want to make like another example, because earlier this year I applied to the University of Oxford. I got into the interview stage and I was interviewed by some Oxford professors. And the first question they asked me was, we understand that you have a background in nursing. So what's your motivation for studying this course? Because we know that a lot of nurses do not apply this route. And I was like, so you people, you all know. So I get asked that question a lot. Nurses. And this is one thing that I want to tell young career nurses, early career nurses like me, because I'm still an early career nurse, is that nursing is a diverse profession. And the world out there, they are looking for nurses everywhere. Without nurses, the healthcare profession cannot stand. No matter what kind of healthcare you want to do, digital health, public health economics, public health, as far as there is health,
health inside, there is space for nursing.
Health inside. There is no capacity that you cannot enter as a nurse, as far as the health is there. Because nursing is central to healthcare, and this is one thing that nobody can debate. Nobody. But I think that one of the things that we do as nurses is that, like you said, we have this spirit of inadequacy, whereby we feel like, oh, I'm not capable. Can I do this? Can I actually compete with people from other professions? There are so many people. Even the scholarship that I got into, I am not the only person that applied. In fact, a week before the scholarship results came in, about 800 candidates were already rejected. They didn't even get the first stage of the scholarship thing. Imagine them rejecting over 800. In fact,
what are your face?
Because I was like, why will they even pick me? Because there are so many people. These scholarships are really competitive, and it's an MPH program. There are so many professionals that would apply for the same thing. And imagine a nurse actually getting into the same space. That shows that there's nowhere we cannot get to as nurses. There's nothing you cannot do as a nurse. One thing is just to understand where you are, understand the opportunities that you can leverage on. Please do not feel shy. Do not be shy to speak up, because this is one thing that we need to start doing. Speak up. The world is waiting for you. The world is waiting for the expertise of nurses. The world is waiting for what contributions the nurses want to bring in to solve a whole lot of global health challenges. And my dear, nursing is one profession that another profession cannot. In fact, it's a body on its own. Absolutely. If another person is coming in to do what we are expected to do, then there's going to be a whole lot of problem. And if we want to move ahead as a profession, we have a whole lot of things to do. And we as early career nurses, we are the ones that the growth of the profession is already lying on us. I had during my inauguration into the Nursing Out Challenge, we were addressed by Professor Yeah. And in her speech, she was like, I am a nurse, I have a background in nursing, and I've achieved so much to improve the health of the population. And I'm getting old, I'm retiring. And the next thing that I want to see is you people, you young nurses, trailing the path that we've trailed, making it better. I want to see young nurses becoming so much in the field of the healthcare. Wherever you want to be, please lead, because I am already getting old and I'm passing the baton to you all. I felt so much encouraged by her speech, and I was like, if she could actually achieve so much as a nurse, she has a PhD in nursing, please. She achieved so much. So if she could actually achieve so much, then there's nothing stopping me. And so I'll leave it to that.
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot, I deliberately kept short. I didn't want to interrupt you because the flow was so strong, and I really, that's encouraging. That's so encouraging. By the way, somebody said, "Who's Professor now?" She's one-time Minister of Health in Botswana. She has held top positions in WHO. And very, very, very industrious.
And she's also currently the co-chair of Nursing Now Challenge.
Co-chair of Nursing Now, yeah. Co-chair of Nursing Now. To be sincere, I think a lot of us are not hungry enough. I don't know, I might be wrong, but a lot of us are not hungry enough. Plus the fact that we see ourselves as inadequate, like you have explained, a lot of people do not expect so much from us. We have allowed those narratives to knock us, and we feel like if nobody's expecting so much, so I just did it. But the truth is that I caught something from what you said. At every stage in the healthcare system, at every space, there is a room reserved for a nurse. I always believe that the expertise of a nurse cannot be replaced by any other person. Because there's a technical know-how that we are bringing to the table that the average medical doctor, the average lab scientist, or whoever in the health, they are unique on their own, definitely. But there's a technical know-how we are bringing to the table that no other person can bring. And it's important that we begin to pursue. It's so amazing. And thank you for sharing all of this, for opening your heart. I know that's a whole lot of into your private space, but yeah, I'm going to dig further into your private space, because
no problem.
This issue of nurses aspiring for greatness, believing that they can do so much, I think it starts from school. What did you do differently in school that made you probably catch this fire so early? Were there people that you observed? Are there books you read? Or were there some friends you kept that just inspired this kind of spirit in you? Can you talk us through that?
So one thing that I usually say is the fact that I still see myself as someone that didn't start early. I didn't start my professional development early. In fact, when I was in school, I think that one of the people that started in school were the likes of you, because I know you did something about tobacco harm reduction. The likes of Nosele, they were really doing so much back then in school. I was just a regular person. I wasn't doing it. Although one thing that I know that helped me was that I finished well. Although I've always had the thought of, I want to finish with the first class and all of that. But at the end of the day, I didn't get to finish with the first class, but then I still finished with
for a very strong 2-1. Don't be modest with that.
And I think that this is one thing that actually helped me, especially during my scholarship application, because in scholarships they expect that you have a minimum of 4.0 CGP, especially if you're applying for Commonwealth Share Scholarship. Let me add, I also got Commonwealth Share Scholarship this year, although I didn't end up going for Commonwealth. But
wait, how many scholarships did you get? Because so you got, I think 3 or 2 now. I got just 10.
Yeah, just 2. I got Erasmus Mundus Excellence Scholarship, and I got Commonwealth Share Scholarship.
The Commonwealth was it also for public health?
Yes, it was for MS in Global Public Health at
nice.
Belfast. Nice. Yeah, but I wasn't able to choose Commonwealth because Erasmus came in early, and at the time Commonwealth was already giving out their decisions. I had already started my
Erasmus
for Erasmus, and it's a lot. But anyway, both of the decisions were really strong ones, and I don't think there's any bad option in here. So
absolutely. In the end, it's all about contributing to the global health space. Yeah.
So then I think that's like one thing that I was able to do for myself back then as an undergraduate. But reflecting now, if I have to tell my younger self what to do as an undergraduate, I would say number one, network with a lot of people and be intentional with the set of people that you have in your cycle, because these are the people that will motivate you. You have to get motivated by everything, because I would say that one of the things that changed my perception about the development space, getting into the development space and improving on my personal and professional development was the fact that I was towards the tail end of my undergraduate study. I got in contact with some amazing people. I think that we have also mentioned some of them before this interview. People like advocacy, people like the husband I actually got married to later on.
Let's talk about that. He's such an amazing, and I see some of his tweets and I'm like, oh God, he's doing so great in the field of microbiology. But this is about you, Rafiat, so let's not.
So, and so many other friends. I still have some friends that are still undergrad, that are still pursuing their undergraduate degrees, and these guys are doing amazingly well. So I think that what changed was the fact that I immersed myself into their circle, and their spirit, their energy, the way they do things. They don't just do things anyhow. They go for excellence. They target what they want to do and they go for it with full force. And I think that this was something that actually changed my mindset from being inadequate as a nurse to actually understanding that I am an asset. The fact that I am a nurse is already an asset for me.
I'm telling you.
I think that this is actually what changed my perspective, and I was able to also focus so much on my personal development, my professional development. I stopped seeing myself as someone who won't be able to do something to someone that can actually do something and succeed in what I do.